Through analysis of our individual experiences, we can conclude there are many differences and similarities in relation to gender, the hidden curriculum, and social inclusion in schools. Considering the AITSL standards, we have delved into focusing on how to create a positive learning experience. AITSL Standards 1.1 and 1.5 explore the importance of creating positive learning environments, and throughout this video we will discuss how these standards link with our personal experiences. On this fine day in 2004.
I have decided to wear my extra super fast runners today because in T-ball we have to run really fast to get to home base.
Grace explains to her mum while putting on her new shoes.
I already know who I want in my team. I want Maggie because she's my best friend and good at running. I want Jack because he's very fast and boys can hit the ball further than girls, and that means we can get our team to home base.
Grace looks at her best friend with a worried look on her face.
Well, there's only one problem. It's a big problem. Someone has to get Lily, and I really don't want her on my team because I want to win. Lily is very obese and she cannot run very fast at all. Lily sometimes doesn't even try, and I want people on my team who are going to try their very best to do what I want because I want to win.
At the Oval, picking teams. Characters pick teams one by one. Lily is picked last. The teacher asks the students whose turn it is to pick teams this week and to stand up in front of the class, pick their teams one by one. Lily is last to be picked again. Lily does not enjoy sports day because she feels left out and really uncomfortable. In this scenario, the teacher fails to meet the AITSL Standard 1.1, know your students and how they learn, because of how the class is making Lily feel. The teacher uses one teaching strategy for all students. AITSL Standard 1.5 states that teachers must differentiate teaching to meet the specific learning needs of students across the full range of abilities. The teacher fails to recognise the mixed abilities that the students have. Meanwhile, the Grade 4 class is getting ready for the Athletics Carnival next Friday.
Good morning everyone. Today we are going to be practicing our athletic skills for the Sports Carnival next Friday. We're going to break up into groups and have different stations for each different activity. But first, we need to make sure everyone has the right techniques and knows what to do on each station. We will start off with triple jump. Can everyone move over to the sandpit, please?
The students stand up and move towards the sandpit with the teacher.
Can anyone volunteer for us and show us how to do triple jump into the sandpit?
Mia raises her hand and waves it around, whilst Luke sits back and distracts others.
Okay, Luke, can you please come and show us?
Mia looks disappointed and turns to her friend Jessica.
Why does she always pick the stinky boys to demonstrate when I've been practicing all week and had my hand up?
It is evident that the teacher has chosen the boy for a couple of different reasons. Although Mia has her hand raised and looks eager to demonstrate, the teacher has chosen Luke as he is distracting others. The teacher also knows that it is the easy option to choose Luke, as it will stop him from talking, and she knows how athletic he is and will be able to demonstrate to others with a great technique. Luke gets up and demonstrates to the class perfectly, while Mia looks at the ground and is not focused on what is happening anymore. She is disengaged.
Whoa, that was awesome, Luke. You have wonderful technique. Can everyone see what they need to do at this station?
You can now see that Mia is not interested in what is happening anymore. She is upset that she is never chosen to get up and be a leader of the class and demonstrate her skills to others. This relates to AITSL Graduate Standard 1.1, as the teacher does not understand the way Mia learns. The social, intellectual and physical characteristics relating to the way Mia learns are not being met. She thrives on praise and acknowledgement in all areas of learning. By not choosing her to demonstrate means she's not engaging in the PE lesson to the fullest capacity and will not get much out of the lesson. The Athletics Carnival. Everyone line up, we need to get to our first event, shot put, yelled Mrs. Green. We quickly lined up, left our school bags on the ground and walked swiftly to our event. I was filled with nerves, I had butterflies in my stomach and my palms were sweating. I stepped up to the circle. I was the last competitor in my age group. I picked up my shot put and threw it as far as I could and congratulated the winners. After all our events finished, I was exhausted. I walked slowly back to my backpack I left on the hill and slumped down. Reaching for my bottle of water, I laid down on the grass, waiting to watch the boys' sprints. The final event of the day was about to start. All the girls were ready to watch the boys' 100-meter race. This was always the last event of the day because the boys were always so quick, it was impressive. The boys were starting to line up, they were stretching, and Mr. Thompson was ready to start the race. Once everyone was ready, Mr. Thompson put the gun in the air and bang, the boys were off and racing. The cheering of 355 girls was so loud I couldn't even hear myself think. Parents were yelling, "Stop running like a girl," to their children running down the track. The girls surrounding me were yelling, "Go Red, go!" The boys were running so fast. The race was over in the blink of an eye. The two winners were off to state-level athletics. They were going to represent our school, and we were praying they were going to bring us home a trophy. I could never imagine being as fast as the boys and having that much pressure on me. The whole school was relying on them. There is a significant amount of pressure on all the students. This narrative relates to the AITSL Graduate Standard 1.1 as the teachers do not understand how these pressures impact all the students. The students can all be significantly impacted socially, emotionally, and physically from the pressures that come from the concepts of needing to win or being the best, as throughout the narrative it was perceived that boys are so much better than girls. Meanwhile, at the local Catholic high school, in 2004 I began my secondary school learning journey at the local Catholic school in town. Choosing my electives for the first time was a decision I was finding difficult, so I enlisted in the help of my year level coordinator, Miss Smith. Whilst chatting to Miss Smith, we discussed how much I love sport, specifically basketball and netball, so she suggested choosing to be a part of one of the sporting academies. I jumped at the opportunity to select a sporting academy and to be a part of it. Miss Smith explained how typically basketball was more prompted as a boys' sporting academy, along with football, and if I wanted to be a successful member of the sporting school as a female, it was preferred to be in the netball academy. Miss Smith prompted the netball academy as the elite girls academy, with one of the best netballers in the local league teaching the class. So I chose to be a part of the netball academy. Furthermore, Miss Smith suggested some other classes that some of my friends had already chosen to be a part of. Those consisted of home economics, textiles, and photography, so I selected those to do also. In all of these classes, females were the most prevalent gender of the classroom. Without noticing, I was being stereotyped by Miss Smith as to what a female student of my age should be interested in learning at school.
The education system aims to educate students being active and informed citizens of Australia. In doing this, students can adopt certain behaviours and meet expectations throughout individual schooling lives. Whether the education system is directly or indirectly teaching students about how to behave in certain situations or not, students are developing their own sense of identity. Furthermore, there are many elements that encompass one's self-identity. These include age, gender, race, and social inclusion due to these gendered institutions. Throughout all our personal experiences, it is evident how these elements impacted our sense of self.
Gender is a very common element that influences the development of an individual's self-identity. In particular, even the Oxford Dictionary recognises that the word gender is starting to become a word without meaning, as the word has many factors that influence someone's gender identity. For example, the term involves the makeup of social and cultural groups.
Gender stereotyping is a factor that has been manipulated by gendered environments. A significantly gendered environment in today's society is a school. In support to this idea that schools are gendered environments, Vickers explores this concept. She delves into the idea that gendered environments are not accidental. However, the gendered stereotyping is embedded into the histories of the school system. An example of how gender is incorporated into the curriculum is also explored by Vickers. She considers the roles in which the construction of masculinity with boy subjects such as physics, computer science, and trade-related subjects. Vickers goes on to discuss how these subjects are typically male-led due to the males being tied to the occupations.
Through the formation of the typically gendered school environment, the concept of the hidden curriculum is also embedded into the teaching curriculum. The term hidden curriculum refers to The lessons that are taught in the classroom are not always formally delivered through the framework of the curriculum. Within every school organisation, there is a set of expectations, values and beliefs that are a part of the hidden curriculum. Students are conditioned by their school environment to act and behave in certain ways. These lessons are not necessarily written down, however, they do have major impacts on students.
According to Ewing, the hidden curriculum is taught in less obvious ways. Students learn much about what is appropriate at school through many of the signs, symbols, routines, and rituals that are taken for granted aspects of schooling. Peace out, doggies.